So, Bill, stoked to be here with you this morning. I've been super looking forward to this and really glad that we could take the time to get together and have a conversation about what's really, what's going on the planet. And, you're a vegan, so I'm really looking forward to getting your perspective on and hearing some more about that and your story and what's brought you to that. But just right up front, thanks so much for taking the time, and it's awesome to be connected.
Thanks so much for inviting me.
Such a pleasure. So let's start by, this is William Neal,
Yep.
right? We call you Bill.
Bill.
And
Short for William.
Short for William. So tell us a little bit about what brought you to Bali and why what you're doing. Let's get that story first. We'll just do it in little bits.
I came to Bali actually on the advice of a yoga teacher.
Okay.
Who recommended I come here. I'd been here about 14 years ago and wasn't impressed. And he's like, you need to go back now that you're practicing yoga. And I came back and got off the plane. I was like, oh, this is a mistake. And then I pulled into Ubud 2 hours later, and I felt like I was home. It was just crazy. And I was here for 6 weeks and returned back to the Virgin Islands for about maybe 6 weeks. And then I was here for another, and I just kept going. And then finally, about 7 months ago, I made the big move to Bali.
Right on.
Love it here. Got my girlfriend invited and excited.
Yep.
And she took me up on the offer and moved with me.
Beautiful. Right on. And you're involved with Trash Heroes.
I am.
So tell us a little bit about that, because they're doing some really cool stuff, right?
Trash Heroes, what happened was my girlfriend and I both really don't like garbage. It's been, even in the Virgin Islands, anywhere we were, we always, when we were doing our walks, we'd go and pick up garbage, like a lot of people do.
Sure.
And so we started doing it here. We posted on Facebook, and we just didn't get much reception. I would be my girlfriend and I, and Joy and I, and Joy and I. And then one day on Facebook, someone reached out and said, hey, there's a company or a group called Trash Heroes, and we're looking to start up an Ubud chapter. Would you be interested? So we went to the meeting, and the gal was really nice, and we said, sure, we'd love to do it. She was just looking for some assistance. We said, we'd love to be an assistant, because I really just like to pick up garbage. And so she came to the very first one, so we had 3 people at our next.
Woo!
Yeah, it was like,
right on.
Yeah, 50% increase. Exactly, you know the math. And we were so excited, and we did a great cleanup. And about 4 days later, she says, something came up, and I have to go back to Europe, so you're in charge. So we were like, wow. So it ended up that Joy and I took on all the different things, which was, promoting on Facebook and organizing, collecting gloves and little tongs to pick up the garbage and where to get the garbage to go to. And luckily, somehow or another, we had a lot of amazing people come in that are actually now involved in the group, that have taken the baton. And really now all I'm doing is going and picking up garbage and speaking with our recycling / sorting plant where we take all of our garbage. Mm-hmm. And then when I can, I go and speak to schools and children, because I know that's picking up garbage is not going to make a difference, right? Education is going to make a difference.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, every piece of garbage you pick up makes a difference for sure.
It does.
But
not in the big picture. In the big picture, we have to educate people not to drop it, otherwise it'll just keep getting dropped. So
yeah, that's what's going to make the lasting change.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So, tell me a little bit more about Trash Heroes, because it's like a...
Well, I'm going to tell you what my Trash Heroes experience is, just a quick little thing.
Yeah, go for it.
This is
I'd love to hear about that.
I just want to tell you about the education part, if I can. When I was younger, we used to sail around. I lived in the Caribbean, so the Virgin Islands, and we used to sail around, and we'd always have cans of soda for the kids and cans of beer for the adults. And, we'd drink our sodas or beers, and then we'd break the can and throw it in the ocean. Yeah. And it never dawned on me. It was just like, oh, that's a home for the fish. We're creating homes for fish, It never dawned on me that we were littering. So when I see people doing it here, I understand how it's education. So this is why I wanted to really stress the educational part, because obviously I wouldn't break a can or throw anything in the ocean ever again, That's just, it's a mortal sin in my book, for me personally. But I've done it, so I've been there, and I understand that once I learned that was not good, that, if I could stop that, I can make a difference. And now no one in my family would ever do that again, of course.
Yeah.
Regarding Trash Heroes, like I said, it's a great organization. I can't tell you who exactly started. I want to say it's a guy named John from Czech Republic.
Okay.
But he started it in Thailand. And it spread around some different provinces in Thailand. And then I believe after that it came to Bali and started in, so right now it's in Canggu, Sanur, Ahmed, Chandidasa, Ubud, and there may be some other, I know there's some other chapters that are starting up. And it's in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, Koh Lipe. It's in a lot of places, New York City. So it's starting to really go. And we're actually getting ready for a conference next month, the end of November, here in Ubud, which will
wow.
be all of the Balinese chapters. We'll all come together, and we'll also have different environmentally friendly, environmentally active groups come and speak, and we'll work together and just kind of share ideas on how to keep growing this movement. 'Cause
Yeah, fantastic.
that's what we want.
Wow. So that's really exciting. That's really cool. And well, a bit more about Trash Heroes, I think. Specifically about the organisation, the work that they're doing, what it looks like,
Well,
practically.
what they've done as the base organization, Trash Heroes, actually supported us with buying T-shirts, giving us some advice, because every country's got different rules. As you know, in Bali, it's a questionable thing when you do volunteer work. You can get in trouble for that. And I actually have made the decision that if they want to kick me off this island for doing volunteer work that's trying to make their island better, then I don't belong here. I love Bali. I'll do anything for this place. I'd love to stay here. But if they don't want me to volunteer and they decide that I'm doing something illegal, then I'm willing to sacrifice that, because I'm about the environment. I'm about this world. And I'll find a place that wants me. But I do believe that Bali, I've met so many amazing people involved with, policemen, with the banjars, with recycling, and they've all told me, Bill, don't even pay attention. That's old school stuff. We're doing this. This is a whole movement here that's got, our big goal now is obviously to get the Balinese people involved, which we have. We've got some amazing Balinese people that are really helping us make a difference. But Trash Heroes supports us financially with getting going with T-shirts, so we can get them on the kids and the people. Because once you see that Trash Heroes thing, it's a bright yellow, almost not an attractive yellow. It's so bright, but I love wearing it now because people recognize it. They know it. They're like, oh, Trash Hero, yeah. So they're just supporting us on ideas and financially a little bit in the beginning. And besides that, their goal is just to keep growing and to making this world a better place, trying to stop creating garbage in the world, starting to see what kind of footprint we create when we do this, So.
It's probably a good segue. You talked about footprint. When we look at, it's 2016, humanity's facing some very interesting challenges based on choices we've made over the last few hundred years, especially the Industrial Revolution and what's going on. So when you consider globally all the different things that are going on, in your opinion, what do you feel would be some of the biggest challenges that we're facing, and some of the things that we're really going to have to sort out to be able to move into the future in a way that we can enjoy so much of the beauty of nature?
That's why I'm involved in Trash Heroes. I think it is one of the biggest ones that people sort of just keep shoving aside. We create these landfills, just keep shoveling stuff in there. And the bottom line is that's all leaking into our groundwater, leaking into our oceans. Our fish are eating it. I am vegan, so obviously I don't eat the fish, but I want the fish to live. I don't want them to die. And I think people don't realize how unhealthy it is to eat these fish nowadays that have been consuming all these plastic particles that are broken up and deteriorate but never disappear until they're eaten, and then you eat them. So I think it's a huge thing. I think pollution is the biggest thing. For me, it's one of the biggest things facing us as a world to go forward. There's a lot of other things, right? Poverty, but these things go hand in hand. We can find ways to, poverty unfortunately brings more trash because people aren't as aware. There's not as much government help in assisting people on collecting the garbage, recycling, doing things to make their place a better place. So,
well, I want to hear more about some of the solutions for that. And before we do, tell me about this vegan thing. What's this all about? How'd that happen?
Well, I am actually an ex-lobster catcher, hunter in the high mountains of Colorado. I used to actually, kill the animals, and I got into yoga and meditation, and it really made my mind more peaceful. And just somehow or another, I decided that to get to that next step, I didn't really need to kill anything for me to live. And I tried being vegan at first, and when I was in Thailand, and found out after about a couple days of being so-called vegan that I was actually eating a pumpkin soup that was made with milk and butter. So I was no longer vegan. Then I said, well, I'm in Thailand where I can't, so I went vegetarian. So I did vegetarian for a while, and about after maybe 8 months, I actually met a gal who was, she looked like she was in her mid-50s, and she was a great grandmother, And I was
Wow.
like, great-grandmother, mid-50s, probably not possible.
Yeah.
We got to talking. She was in her mid-80s.
Wow.
And I said, what's your secret? And she said, I went vegan 38 years ago.
Wow.
And I said, oh my God, if I didn't have one more thing to kick me in the butt, I'm fighting my age, right? I don't want to, I want to keep fighting. I want to accept it, but I also want to be the best I can be at this
Yeah,
age.
perfect.
So within a week of that, I gave up eggs, which was the last thing left on my vegan
Yeah.
menu. And now we had a big dinner party last night with 7 people over, all vegan. Everybody just, they rave about it. It's amazing what you can do. And you don't have to kill anything. And I think it makes this mind more peaceful, which allows me to do other things besides let my mind control me.
Beautiful. I mean, some challenges on that road there was milk in the pumpkin soup, butter. What other obstacles have you had to?
When you travel, it's a little hard sometimes because if I don't speak the language, it's one of the first things I learn when I go to a foreign country is I learn how to say no milk, no cheese, no butter, no meat. That's what I try to say. So,
Yeah.
and I try to say the word vegetables. That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So I've learned that. Have I had times? Yeah, I've been in an island once where I ordered the nasi goreng, and I explained it all to him.
Yep.
And I got these little chips, and I ate the chips, and I was like, afterwards, I said, those chips were amazing. I was like, what's in those? He goes, oh, shrimp. And I was like, what part of? Because I use the word vegetarian a lot, 'cause it's more knowledgeable. So what part of vegetarian? But you just have to go with it. My intentions are good.
Yes.
I do the best I can. Are there times that something probably slips in? Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
It's one of the reasons why we cook at home a lot.
Yeah.
But there's also some great apps out there for vegans, and the internet is a wonderful place to find restaurants that cater to
Okay.
vegans. So
Like what?
There's an app called Happy Cow.
Happy
It is
Cow.
Happy Cow. It's amazing. You can. I've been in Vietnam, and you name the places I've been in, places that you would not. It's so easy to find, and then you learn little tricks like the Buddhist monks in Vietnam. If you go follow them wherever they eat, it's always vegan. They're all vegan,
Yeah,
so it makes it
right.
really simple. And once you get set on it, it's pretty easy. We really don't have a problem anymore.
What about the protein, Bill?
Well,
I mean, you're a strong guy, and
I hear
gotta
that.
eat a lot of protein, right?
I hear that a lot. It's like, what about the protein? Well, here's my analogy on that.
Sure.
First of all, we think of the animals. The blue whale. No, sorry. Well, we can do it. Sorry.
Yeah,
First of
sure.
all, we think about the animals. All the great apes
Yeah.
almost never eat anything that is an animal. They almost always eat leaves and bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Elephants, same thing. Oxen, or all the big buffalo-like animals.
Yeah.
They're all vegan.
All the strongest animals on the earth.
Who would want to go and mess with one of those suckers? So they've got plenty of strength without having protein. And the funny thing is, most people don't know, everything you eat has protein in it. I mean, whether it's a banana, spinach, they all have protein, not the same content as meat, but as a vegan, we can get them from legumes. We can also get them from, I use tempe a lot. I really love it. It's a fermented soybean. I find it's a great source. I don't need as much protein as the world has made us believe. I mean, I truly believe that is the dairy industry and the meat industry pumping these fast facts that are actually BS, sort of like what do you do for potassium? If you ask everybody, how do you get your potassium? Everybody says bananas. If you look on the list of high potassium items, bananas like number 150 something.
Oh,
of things
really?
You can eat. Yeah. So it's just
Really?
it's just called advertising. It's a powerful thing.
Wow. Wow. All right. Well, that solves that one then.
Yep.
So what's a typical, maybe a day or a week, or I mean, what's on the menu?
For me, typically, probably 5 days a week, I do a green smoothie for breakfast. It depends on how I'm feeling. If I feel like I need calories, then I'll have like 4 or 5 bananas in there, some spinach. I put in frozen bananas, papaya
Frozen
seeds.
bananas.
I like them frozen.
That's
I really,
a good
especially living
idea.
in Bali. It
Yeah.
kind of makes it it's kind of like a dessert for me.
Just
for
pop the
breakfast.
bananas in the freezer the night
They're in the
before.
they're in there right now, all ready
Right
for
on.
all ready for tomorrow. I already had it this morning. So I use papaya seeds.
Yep.
I'll put like a little green
The
super
papaya
greens.
seeds are really bitter, huh?
No, they're actually like a peppery. So if you actually dry them and ground them, it's like a pepper. You don't even have to use pepper. You can actually take papaya seeds, dry them, ground them, and it's just like pepper. It's got a peppery flavor.
Wow. And great for eliminating parasites from the guts too, right?
And so I do that with turmeric, which of course I can get locally, the roots, the turmeric and the ginger.
Yep.
So I blend that in there.
Anti-inflammatory.
Exactly.
Good for the stomach.
Exactly. And that's the shake in the morning. And to me, it's
Wow, man.
it's amazing. So that's my breakfast. And then lunch is typically, I'd say, 5 days a week, either a salad of some kind, something raw. So it could be a salad, it could be more fruit. I eat a lot of bananas. I can eat up to 20, 25 bananas in a day.
Wow.
It's a great source of everything.
Yeah.
Good calories. I don't want to get too slender. I want to keep my strength and my energy up. so I can pick up trash, of course. You know,
Right on.
and go speak in front of children.
Pick up heavy trash,
Yep,
right?
yep, yep,
Lots of
the
trash.
big stuff. And then the other thing, dinner, we usually do a cooked meal. So we'll do quinoa or rice, or a lot of times I'll just steam up some cauliflower, and then I'll put it into a blender and make it into like a mashed potatoes. And then we can throw any sort of a vegan sauce on top of that, or mix it with, you know, vegetables, a stir fry, make a pumpkin soup that's vegan, you know, with coconut milk instead of regular milk,
Yep.
no butter. And then we can do, like I said, tempeh's added a lot. We'll do tempeh at dinner. Last night we had a coconut tempeh curry. We had kangkung, which is freshwater spinach, a local delicacy.
Yep.
We had terong, which is eggplant, which is, like, to me, to die for. I love their local eggplant. They cook it better than anybody in the world. And then we had, like I said, the quinoa, the rice, and then we did. Oh, and then for dessert, got to go dessert. Again, where I get more by bananas, and I shouldn't even divulge this because I don't want people to take over this recipe.
Okay.
But you can actually take hard frozen bananas in a NutriBullet or one of those really fast grinding blenders. Hard solid bananas. Put in one chilled dragon fruit, so not a frozen dragon fruit, but a chilled one. Put that at the bottom where the blade is,
Just
and
scoop
blend
it,
that.
Scoop out all
Scoop
the,
it out.
Yeah, yep.
Don't have to add anything to it. So it's dragon fruit, chilled, frozen bananas. Blend it in a high-powered blender. It turns into a soft serve ice cream. I served it last night. The people are like crazy. Like, what's your sugar? I'm like, there's nothing. If it's too hard, I'll add a little bit of water, or maybe a little bit of coconut or almond milk or cashew milk.
Or wait 3 minutes.
And wait 3 minutes. Yeah, it's amazing. I'll have to make it for you.
Wow,
Make it for
sounds
you. We'll have
amazing.
you all over. It's
Well,
amazing.
we're going to do that.
That's my typical day.
Nice. Nice. It sounds divine. How long have you been doing that?
Oh God, a couple of years now. A couple
Okay.
of years I've been pretty addicted to.
Yeah, nice.
And Joy tries to get me to not do it as much because, you know, bananas they're high in calories, and
Make you smile.
And they do. They make me smile. They do. They've got that. You know, I
they
forget what
do.
it is, but there's something in there that makes you happy.
Tryptophan.
It's that tryptophan. That's why I
Yeah.
eat a lot of them too. I'm like, hey, I like them.
I like to feel good.
And I have to say, sometimes I can feel the bananas are a little, but I'm vegan, so you know what? I'm okay with it. You know.
Yeah, nice. When I first came to Bali, I go. And actually, at home, my wife and 3 kids, our like our daily, I want to say diet. What's it called? What do you eat? What we eat in a day.
Yeah, your
it's
diet.
pretty
Yeah.
similar.
You can call it diet.
Right,
Yeah.
pretty similar. So we do green smoothies in the morning, salad for lunch, often with some tempeh or something, and then a cooked meal in the evenings. And we never have any animals come into our house. Having said that, we've got 7 dogs who eat chicken heads. I tried the dogs on a vegetarian.
They're canines.
They're canines.
They're
They got
canines.
big chompers. They've
Yep.
got short digestive tracts.
Yep.
They want to get that meat in
Yep.
and out so it doesn't go rancid in their system, and they thrive on it.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
they have some rice, and we give them some spinach and some mushrooms and spirulina or whatever to
With a little chicken.
a bit of avocado and chicken heads and chicken feet,
Yeah.
all the bits that are
Oh, so it's like nature. I watched the gecko last night eating a cicada.
bang.
It's nature. They're supposed to do
Yeah.
these things. You know, and I'm not saying I ate meat for a long time. So for me, it's like whatever you do, as long as you feel good about it, do it. If you feel good, like you're doing good, do it. I can't tell you what to do.
Yeah. So 7 years.
Yeah.
And what you've noticed is clarity, peace,
Oh, sorry.
serenity.
Vegan is 3 years.
3 years vegan,
3 years vegan. Yeah,
right? Peace of mind.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Clarity. I used to have times where people talking about the monkey mind, where it's like the monkey inside, they're just banging the things about all the things that, the fears and all the insecurities and all that stuff. Are they still there? Sure, but they're so much quieter than it used to be.
Yeah, wow.
And I think it's a combination, like I said, veganism, meditation, yoga, and also being of service. I think, and that's the reason why I do the Trash Heroes, is being in service to, the fellow man and the environment, Mother Nature. I mean, what a great place to be, great place to be in service to.
Beautiful philosophy.
Yeah.
And this is how you live, right? This is.
I certainly try to.
Yeah.
I can make errors at times because I'm human, but I
Sure.
try to live by it.
Yeah, wow. Wow. Right, so coming back to trash, thank you for sharing that. That's really cool.
Love veganism.
Yeah, that's awesome. So coming back to trash, we've got exploding global populations. We've got a consumerism society that's driving, how we're showing up. We've got mountains of trash getting buried into the ocean, getting buried into landfill for the majority of it, whatever doesn't get washed straight into the ocean. We've got all that juice from that seeking into our subterranean water supplies, seeking back into our oceans, into our rivers, into our streams. We've got fish full of mercury and plastic. We've got oceans full of plastic. We've got dropping fish stocks.
I can feel
I,
the depression
I mean, this is,
falling on me right now.
you
It's
told
like-
me this,
Yeah,
right?
I
But
know,
this
I
is
know.
kind of a snapshot of
Ugh.
2016, well, towards the end of 2016, and this is what we've been able to create on the Earth. And of course, with all the plastic coming into the ocean, it's a problem for the fish eating it, but the acidity of the ocean is going through the roof. Reefs are dying. We've lost something like 30 to 40% of our reefs in the last few years.
I think someone just declared, I saw it like last week, that the Great Barrier Reef is actually dead. Yeah, they said it's actually dead. It's a dying thing, which was,
Wow.
I actually went down and dove on it about 3 months ago.
Wow.
And I thought it was okay, but I've heard all about it for my lifetime. You know, it was all,
Yeah.
go to the Great Barrier Reef. It was nothing that impressive to me, you know, which is sad.
I was there when I was 10 years old, and it was magnificent. It was just, I mean, and it's changed so
Yeah.
much. It was my first dive when I was 10. And I'm really clear. I can really remember specific things and what I was seeing and what was there, and it's, you know, I can play the movie. And when I go back there now, it's not, it's nothing on what it was.
But we can make a difference. I think, you know, that's why we're talking. We
Well,
know that.
Tell
We
me, what are we going to do?
we
What's
have
the
to
plan?
start changing now. It's where education comes in, being aware of this. People like you and myself, and there's so many people in the world that are aware of this. We have to start finding ways to, you know, obviously create less trash,
Okay.
reuse the trash that we create, and recycle that we can't, and then responsibly, you know, put it in landfills, the stuff that we have to.
Right.
But I mean, of course, to me, I mean, my biggest thing, and I see it anywhere in the world, especially when you travel around Asia, is the plastic. You know, I mean, I don't worry about paper trash because that's organic; it's going to go away in time. Even when you talk about aluminum, it goes away, and I mean, it's not forever, you know. But the plastic lasts forever, and it just keeps polluting everything. So for me, the plastic is a really big thing, and I know there's a lot of people working on ways to turn it into energy. I mean,
Yep.
I've seen different things on the internet, and you know, everything I see on the internet's true. So.
Yeah.
But I see where they can put in a plastic bottle and out comes gasoline, you know, which should be like, if that actually works.
Imagine that.
I mean, I think these things are all possible at some time, right? Because it is a petroleum-based
Sure, yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
product.
It all comes from oil.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what happens. But I mean, it'd be wonderful if we could find a way to make the plastic worth enough money where people don't decide to throw it in the ground. Because I don't know that we can actually enforce, because of the cost issues,
Yeah, sure.
the big corporations to not use the stuff. Because we want, as a consumer, we want convenience.
Sure.
And it's hard. As much as Joy and I try to be plastic free, we have our whole separate bag of their plastics, you know, which is like, even when you tell the people to do your laundry, do not wrap my laundry in plastic. I give them a bag that I've got made out of recycled stuff. It still half the time comes back in a plastic bag in my bag. And I'm like, it's like, you know, it's natural. Yeah, and education.
Well, it's natural, or is it it's conditioned?
Conditioned.
Yeah.
Exactly, and we need to educate people
Yeah.
that, listen, this can be done a different way, you know.
Right on.
And you see it. I mean, come on, we see it with the two gals at the Green School that are doing ballet, no more plastic, or bye-bye plastic
Bye-bye
bags.
plastic. Yep.
They're amazing. Two of the most amazing speakers I ever saw speak.
Wow.
And I think that those kind of things, people are starting to see that. And, you know, it's those people we need to change. It's hard to change people in my age group because you're so set in, you've got this ingrained thing. But even they're changing. You know, another part I go to, especially in Bali, which you'll find a lot during the burning season after they get rid of their rice and they burn their stuff, or during the celebrations, they burn their plastic a lot. A lot of people do because it's cost effective for them not
Sure.
to spend the 15,000 rupees a month to have the city come pick it up. And if you notice, a lot of the Balinese, you'll hear they have a continuous cough at that time of year, where I'll just hear this little, it's like a little, it's not like a cough like a big one, but just a little one. I'm not a doctor, but I haven't heard it in the past 3 months since the burning's been done. And I think there's a tie together that, you know, and then you go to the other part of ways to get people to stop. I think there's a whole issue with virility of masculinity, and I think that plastic does stuff to also hurt us as males with our ability to produce children, to have good sperm counts. I know this is getting more into the
Yeah.
medical side, but I truly
Perfect.
believe
Yep.
there's. I haven't had the experience. I've only been here a while, but I've heard that it's a huge problem in Bali, and it's like, I think that you know, if they can stop burning this plastic and breathing this plastic, it's got so many effects we don't have a clue
Sure.
what's happening, or we do have a clue, but big business doesn't want us to know, right? You know, so I mean,
Vested interest.
again, back to the original. To me, it's like education. It just goes
Yeah.
back to education. We have to educate. We have to. The biggest thing is just not creating so much plastic. And if we can get people to say, wait a minute, I can start carrying my own bags to the grocery store, my own bags to the laundromat, and get stuff done like that. That way, the you know, plastic's not getting up the ground. Plastic bottles. Anybody that's in this business, they know plastic bottles is just huge, and we have to find a way to get everybody to carry their own bottles. Or just go buy a new plastic bottle. We have to find ways where water is actually good to drink, where you can refill those bottles. And we have to stop promoting companies, and I won't say their names,
Sure.
but we have to stop promoting these companies that are actually buying our groundwater and reselling it to us. I mean, this is
plastic.
Mother Nature's water, and they're selling it to some plastic. It's like, no. If you would stop polluting that damn groundwater, we could probably drink it without having you put it in a plastic bottle. So I think for me personally, that's the biggest one. You know?
Yeah, I hear you. Wow. So imagine we're back where we came from. We're in the city, we're in the suburbs, where, when we're in this beautiful place here now. And this is, the kind of environment, not really the majority of the population don't choose this. Anybody could, of course, like you and I have. And most people are living in the cities, living in the suburbs. They're driving their petrol car to their job each day because they've got to make money that's made up and work a job that they hate to buy stuff that they don't need to impress people that they don't like. And there's a lot of stress in that kind of way of living, you know what I mean?
Oh, there is.
And there's the mortgage, and there's the wife and the kids and the education and all that stuff, and there's the ex-wife, and there's just all this stuff going on. And we start talking about some of this stuff, and it's like landfill, plastic in the ocean. Man, are you kidding me? I've got stuff to deal with right now. So for someone who's in that situation, of course they do care. They care about the planet. They do care about their children and their children's children and children everywhere, to be able to breathe fresh air without coughing and getting lung infections and getting sick, to be able to swim in pristine oceans like you used to do, without all the sludge and pollution and plastic and all the rubbish going on. What's something that like anybody can do? And you've mentioned a few things already. So absolutely, take your canvas bag to the supermarket, right? Like just keep them in the car, and then when they say plastic bag, just go, no way, we can do that. What else can people do?
Well, I think
it's really going to have a big impact. This is education time, right?
It's a good question. I mean, I think it all starts, like I said, at home with our children, and you can obviously be more organic. And when I say organic, I mean not buying processed stuff. Doesn't mean you have to buy, because I know there's a whole stigma around the price of organic vegetables and fruits, but you can buy stuff that's not processed. If you get back to what we were supposed to do, when we were, even 50 years ago, before the end of the World War II, when things got so, automated and everybody wanted quick TV dinners and all this stuff, you can go back to actually, buying your vegetables and cooking. It's not that hard. Especially if you go on a vegan lifestyle, I can get an entire meal cooked up in 25 minutes at any moment. I can do it in probably 10 minutes, except for rice. Sure. I keep rice around. It's easy. I can reheat it, It's simple. But I think you need to start cooking more at home, which again goes back to spending time with your family instead of this quick eat together, don't talk. It's like, this is what we're missing. It's connection in this world. And once we're connected with each other and realize that what we do affects everybody in the world, we start to be aware of it. And once we're aware of it, we make a difference. I went through my life. I went through 40 plus years, unawake, with the mortgages, with the cars, with all that stuff. And I didn't realize until I woke up one day that I wasn't happy. This wasn't what I was looking for. All the stuff you try to acquire, that I tried to acquire, didn't get me what I wanted. So now in the past, 4 plus years, 5 plus years, I'm starting to see that there's a lot more to life than impressing everybody else, So
beautiful. I had a conversation with my sister just a few months ago, and it's probably what spurred a lot of this project that we're working on now. And she's, beautiful, love. We've got 2 little sisters, and educated, smart. She's just sold a business. She's working with her boyfriend on his business now and building that up. And she's connected with the council. She works with them. She runs events. Does a lot of, she's smart. And she says, Pat, we're not going to make it. Humanity's past a tipping point. We're past a point of no return. No one's taken their foot off the gas. There's no hope. There's no way. This is my own sister, And I went, wow. And what really hit me about that isn't that my own sister could believe that, which really shocked me, but when I thought about it in reflection, that, what kind of a percentage of the population does she represent that have got, maybe not that articulate, but, have just generally got this idea that there's no hope.
We can do.
There's nothing we can do, right? It's too big, there's too many issues, and there's nothing I can do. So of course her response to that was, so how do you live? Like, how do you get up in the morning and even, with there's so much beauty around, and you've decided in your mind that that's not going to last, not going to survive. She said, humanity's not going to be around to see that. So she said, well, the first thing, I'm not going to have any children because it'd be irresponsible of me to bring children into a world that is doomed. I'm not going to go on any big environmental campaigns or crusades because I'm just delaying the inevitable. I'm just, prolonging the agony. And I'm like, my heart's breaking at this point, right? You can imagine. And then she said, but I'm not going to go and, try and make things worse than they are either. I ride my bike, I've got my hens in the garden, and she kind of does what she does, and I thought to myself, I've got 3 kids already, right? We had twins, and that happened. And we went, I want them to be happy. And I want them to be able to enjoy a pristine world. And not just for my children and their children, but for children everywhere. Like I said, to be able to swim in the ocean, anywhere, and not go, you can't swim there, which is, a huge percentage of our coastlines around the world now. It's like you wouldn't go in that water. You look at it, it's disgusting. And to be able to breathe the air, and you look at how many cities on the planet where you can't do that and be okay. You know what I mean? And it's like children born into that world, So I want, I really feel that children born on Earth should be able to enjoy the abundance of Earth, be able to eat food that grows on Earth, be able to drink water that comes from Earth. And, when I consider that, that's my vision, that's my wish for humanity. And I believe that it's inevitable. For me, it's a done deal, and we've got some changes to make because, with this crazy time in history right now where we've got, on the one hand, we're having this beautiful conversation right now, consciously, intentionally causing more death and devastation and destruction to nature, our planet, humanity, than has ever been possible in our entire history. And at the same time, there's people who are causing more health, regeneration, rejuvenation, restoration to our planet than has ever been necessary in our history. And a lot of people, I guess my sister's kind of gone this way, I've gone this way, but a lot of people kind of holding their breath and wondering which way is it going to go, So, and that's what really triggered this. I went, right, I'm going to connect with people who are doing good stuff because mainstream media doesn't have a vested interest in sharing good news because it's not necessarily what people want to buy into. So they're biased towards bad news in general. And when that's your, that's the input that you're getting, then that's the kind of mindset that you have and the choices that you make, and you kind of respond to that as humans, kind of what we're, how we do it, right? So I'm going, well, let's share some good news. Let's look at trash heroes. Let's look at veganism. Let's look at all the amazing things that people are doing for humanity and the planet moving forwards, and why, my hope that we're going to make it. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be better. We're going to move into a time in the human experience unlike anything that's ever existed on this planet, because we've got this amazing technology. We've got this amazing intellect. We've got this, we've got so much, and we've got a few issues to sort out. And what's really cool is that the solutions are already there. We don't need to actually go and create anything new. We just need to actually do what we know how to do. You with me?
Absolutely.
So, I guess that's just probably a bit of background. Thanks for listening and allowing me to share that. And when you consider, what do you reckon? For the people who are hanging in the balance, right? I'm convinced this way. My sister's convinced that way. What do you?
Well, I was on the other side, right? I didn't have children.
Yeah.
I made a choice not to. It wasn't because I thought the world was going to end. I was more of a selfish. It was a selfish decision that I was still a kid and wanted to go and have fun. We learn as we hear things from different people. Obviously, we're all affected by what people say to us, what we read on the internet. So I just think as long as I keep speaking, when the person's ready, they'll hear the message. My personal belief is, and I get it reinforced every day here, there are so many amazing people here. Like I used to think, well, it's only the young, it's only this. No, you meet people from every race, every religion, every sex that are all awake. And I'm particularly enthralled with the young now. When I meet people between the age of about 15 and 30, they are so gung-ho on this. And as much as people say, the younger generation doesn't have any, well, the younger generation doesn't want the world to end up like we're doing it. My generation's done to it. They want to leave it better. And so I have total hope. There's not a question in my mind.
Wow.
There is a question because the corporations are so big, but
Sure.
I believe that through the biggest power we have as a consumer is to not buy the products. You won't see me buying Coca-Cola. You won't see me buying
Sure.
Nestle. I don't like to name companies.
Sure.
You don't see me buying these companies that are just creating all sorts of garbage in our world. I don't buy that. I buy my rice from the farmer. You know, I buy my
Beautiful.
organic stuff from the farmer.
Yeah.
And I know, yeah, are they getting a little plastic to deliver my stuff? Unfortunately, yes, they are. But I know they're not creating huge amounts that are going to just make this world a worse place. So that's our biggest way to vote and change the world, is by how we spend our money. And if we choose to not shop at these places that create tons of waste, that, you know, torture and kill animals needlessly, then we, you know, money speaks. Big businesses have to change. If you look right now in the organic and especially the organic end in companies, those companies have gone through the roof because of nut milks and all these things that are healthier.
Yeah.
You know, don't have all these pesticides that end up in the produce, the hormones that end up in your milks and your cheeses. Just the world's a better place. People are becoming aware more and more. So there's not a question. Of course, there's always going to be people with the glass half empty and the glass half full. You just have to deal with that. Because at some time, people either wake up, and if not, we keep growing. The society keeps going. Another 50 years from now, there's going to be more and more people, in my opinion, that are awake and aware and don't want this to keep happening. I truly believe we're going to make a difference. I think it's going to take time. It's not like a magic pill. We don't take this pill and all of a sudden have it happen.
Yeah, sure.
But education, time, and you know, like I said, I at one time wasn't this person. So I got woken up by listening to other people, by people talking to me about these things. And finally, it struck home with me, and I realized this is where I belong. This is what I need to do.
You! That's awesome. So what do we got? What's going on here?
Well, I figured I'd take the advantage of a little break and do the dragon fruit and banana
Right
ice cream
on.
with a little splash of fresh made cashew milk. So it's a soft serve dragon fruit, banana,
man.
cashew milk. That's it.
Oh,
And then, I mean, I don't know if they can get the color. If you look at the color of that, it's like such a beautiful
that's
color.
amazing. Yeah, give me some more of that. Wow. Oh, it's just like ice cream.
It's like ice cream. And unfortunately, like I said, my bananas, I just moved here, so the freezer's not freezing real well. But it's still like a soft serve ice cream. I mean,
My kids are going to love this.
it's so healthy, right?
Ice
There's
cream
no
is
sugar added.
back on the
Yeah,
menu.
it's like, why not have ice cream? It's
Yeah.
non-dairy.
We're already eating tons of dragon fruit, tons
Yeah,
of
yeah.
bananas.
Yeah,
The
right.
girls come home and chop a dragon fruit in half. They're into it.
Well, the reason I do dragon fruit right now is it's starting to come in season.
It's
So I don't have to bring them in
thank
from
you.
Java. They're actually growing here. So it's
Yeah.
easy, it's cheap. But I can do bananas and papaya are wonderful.
Yeah.
Any fruit at all. It doesn't matter. Mangosteen.
Yep.
Jackfruit.
Mangoes would be amazing
Yeah.
in here too.
So amazing.
So before we wrap up, any last thoughts, comments, observations, anything we haven't talked about that you'd like to share?
You know, I'm pretty happy. The veganism,
Yep.
talking about the veganism, talking about, making the world a better place. Sorry. You know, those things are all, that's pretty much wrapped up everything I like. I mean, it's a pleasure to meet you. I know you're so full of energy,
Thank
and
you.
you're one of those ambassadors that really carries a message. And that's one of the great things about all of these movements is they've got so many people that are passionate. And passionate is the answer to, you know, how we convince, educate, and convert
It
people
matters,
over.
right?
It makes a big difference,
Right.
right? I mean, it's like I talk with Joy all the time. It's like, if I see someone that's smiling and radiating stuff that I want, that's the person I want to be like. That's the person I'm going to gravitate toward. When I see someone that talks with the glass half full, I don't want to be with that person, and I don't want to be that person
Half
either.
empty,
you know?
half full?
Yeah, yeah.
Which one?
I like being I like being half full. you know?
Right on.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, I get them backwards sometimes. The bottom line is, we gravitate towards people that have what we want.
Yeah, nice.
And so your energy is wonderful, and I appreciate the opportunity to come and share some of my thoughts. You know.
Thank you.
And
Likewise.
Hopefully, I know that we're going to make the world a better place. You know.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Well, thanks so much again, Bill. Really appreciate the time and hearing from your wisdom and your experience. And what I love about this is it's not just theory, right? And this is really the biggest thing. I'm looking for, I'm wanting to connect with people who are doing this stuff, not talking about doing this stuff. A lot of people talking about it. But, you're out there every day picking up pieces of plastic off the earth. You're out there talking to kids about, what's going on and the effects and how they can actually make a difference. And, you're not causing a lot of the problems. You're part of the solution, and I really admire that and want to acknowledge that.
I'd like to share one more thing. The other thing that
Yeah,
I found in
please.
my mind was I always felt like I was a hypocrite before. I used to always say I love animals, because I do. I love cats and dogs.
Yeah, sure.
But the reality was I loved to eat animals because I loved cats and dogs, and yet I was not so nice to cows and pigs and lobsters and fish.
Sure.
And it's one of the things also I think that once I realized that I was being hypocritical, self-hypocrite, it's like you sit there and you realize I'm a hypocrite which causes our mind so many problems.
Freaking out.
It gave me such a peace of mind to know that actually, no, I love all animals. I'm not saying I want to crawl in bed with a horse or a cow,
Yeah.
but I'll certainly pet them, and I think they're beautiful, and I think they have feelings and kids, and that they have the same stuff we
Yeah.
have, and it's only good to be. If you're going to be good to everything, be good to everything. Don't just choose. Don't just choose white people or black people. Choose everything. We're all Earthlings. Be good to all
Nice.
Earthlings. And my favorite saying is, love animals, eat plants.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. So it's just a funny one. I mean, because there are a lot of people quite okay eating a cow, eating a pig, but we never eat a dog or a cat. What's up with that?
Well, I mean, look at the uproar with China and their dog festival every year, and it gets all the world crazy about it. It's like, wait a minute, they're just eating an animal just like you. They're treating animals, dogs, just like we treat cows and chickens and pigs. Why is there a big uproar? I mean, and they talk about if you compare, chickens are pretty smart, cows are pretty smart, pigs are super smart, supposedly smarter than dogs. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but from what I've heard, they're even smarter.
Yep.
We're doing the same thing. So why is the world in such an uproar about cats and dogs instead of being about all animals? Why are we in an uproar about elephants and zebras and lions? Why not all animals? It's like they're all living, breathing, sentient beings. Let's be good to everything, just like we're trying to be good to all people.
Right on. Well, thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.